Welcome to Poetry Changes Lives today. Poetry and history and a thought for the day, all this in this book. I sit here in the garden reading it every day, primarily because poetry really did change my life. At one time, I was in such despair and distress that I thought nothing could help me. But the discovery that poetry could change my mood, help me discover things about myself, help me motivate myself, help me find new interests in life, was a huge moment of truth for me. And I've welcomed poetry, and I can't get enough of it these days because it really changed my life. I've seen it change the lives of others too. I've worked with many people with mental problems, and quite often finding a poem or writing a little poem themselves has really been a pivotal moment in changing their lives around. And the power of poetry is something that I'm just so glad I have witnessed and found in my own life. My website, poetrychangeslives.com, tells you more about all this and talks about how I wrote this book in the first place. Well, thank you. Today I'm going to tell you about a terrible event on this day in 1912. The Titanic sank on this day. Imagine that. Can you imagine the shock that went round the world when the newspapers and the radio suddenly started talking about this dreadful event? One of the greatest peacetime maritime disasters there have ever been. Of course, it was a big ship, and around 1,500 people perished. The inadequate number of lifeboats, there were only 1,178 for a total number of people of 2,224 on board. There are only really half lifeboats for the number of people there were. Can you imagine being on that boat and hearing that news? Another factor was the near freezing water. Nearby ships might have been able to help more, but seemed curiously unmoved by the distress rockets. It's as if they couldn't believe that such a brand new, wonderful ship should be in trouble at all. Only the Carpathia, a fellow White Star liner, stopped and gave wholehearted assistance, taking on board over 700 people. Otherwise, the disaster would have been a great deal worse. Well, the wreck of the Titanic was discovered in 1985, lying in 12,000 feet of water. Many objects have been salvaged over the year and put on display, but the wreck itself is in a pretty bad state. I'm going to read a poem about the sinking that was written on the occasion by Thomas Hardy, a very great English writer and poet. It's full of poignant imagery and some sort of pious, not exactly pious, but sad thoughts on the meaning of life and riches and all that sort of thing. See what you think of this. In a solitude of the sea, it's called. In a solitude of the sea, deep from human vanity and the pride of life that planned her, stilly couches the steel chambers, late the pyres of her salamandrine fires. Cold currents thrid and turn to rhythmic tidal lyres. Over the mirrors meant to glass the opulent, the sea worm crawls, grotesque, slimed, dumb, indifferent. Jewels, in joy designed to ravish the sensuous mind, lie lightless, all their sparkles bleared and black and blind. It's a kind of sad tale of you know, riches mean nothing in our hour of distress. Jewels, we can't take them with us. Beautiful mirrors that were built to glass the opulent now are meaningless simply where the sea worm crawls. A sad, poignant tale. Today I ask that I will be able to handle whatever problems happen today, large or small. Thanks for listening. Have a good day yourselves.